Let me explain something else too about this. So specifically about people going around the collective trying to mimic their mannerisms and how they dress and how they act and how they talk or whatever, right? Let me explain something to you guys. So if you watch actors, famous actors and actresses in their interviews, they tell you how when they get so much into character of being somebody else, portraying somebody else, they will start to lose their own sense of self, who they were before they started portraying that character. Okay? So, you guys who do this to the collective are losing all that time in your lifespan, okay? Because sometimes you'll do it for years, sometimes months, whatever. You're losing all that chunk of time portraying to be somebody else, whether it's just to gaslight them and you just think it's a funny little game that you play, or you truly are in competition with the collective. Okay? But you can easily get lost in character. So by the time it's all said and done and you're done playing your little game or in competition, you're going to have to relearn how to be yourself. You're going to have to rediscover who you are as a person. It happens all the time to actors and actresses. They portray a character that's outside of their original persona, and they have to take on that persona so well to try to convince the public, viewers, audiences, that they are that character, that they actually get lost and in that character, and they have difficulty finding their sense of self again. It happened to Jim Carrey when he was playing Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon. And if you watch Jim and Andy on Netflix, he talks about that. Famous actor. He's played many roles. He's portrayed many roles. But the one that really got him was playing Andy Kaufman. And he says how he struggled to find his sense of self because he became stuck playing Andy Kaufman. Even when he wasn't even on the scene or, writing the script or reading the scripts or shooting the movie, he actually would go to other places and be Andy Kaufman. So this is a very dangerous game that you guys play, trying to portray to be the collective. Trying to wear the persona of somebody else. For whatever reason you're doing it or you've done it, it's a dangerous game because psychologically you do not want to play that game. You'll get lost in character and then you'll have to scrounge to find who you were again. To regain your sense of self. And getting lost and having to find your sense of self could make you go crazy if you're not careful. Because you got to think you're rewiring and restructuring your brain to unlearn the persona of the collective. It doesn't matter if you're just doing it just to gaslight the collective and make them feel insecure. You'll get stuck in that character regardless. And then you'll have to pick up all the pieces once you're done portraying or being in competition with the collective. You don't want to play those type of psychological games on yourself. On top of, if you are in competition with the collective, and that's why you're doing all the things that you're doing, trying to portray their persona, you're probably coming from a space that's unhealed. You're probably coming from a space of trauma, of some wounds that you need to heal. So you really shouldn't cause more damage within yourself than what's already there. You need to be focused on healing those aspects of yourself. You need to be focused on getting to the root of the problem instead of trying to pretend to be somebody else. Because you don't have say you're in competition with collective. Like genuinely, you're competing to try to pretend that you could be them better than they can. You don't have, it's the same thing another influencer said, and she's so right. You don't have the tools within you that collective has. You don't have the track record of, having to re-heal from traumas, the same history as collective. You don't have the same endurance, the same strength, she's absolutely right. You don't have all these things. So at the end of the day, you can try to portray to be collective, look, dress, act, talk, but you don't have our soul. You don't have our soul. And that's soul as in the word, soul being our actual, genuine soul that we get from the Most High, from the divine. And you don't have our soul, You don't have our spirit. And you don't have our intellect. Because through time, everybody goes through different traumas. Everybody goes through different phases in their life. They respond to those phases. They respond to those traumas differently. Everybody responds differently. One example I've always used is two kids who are twins who live in the same household, come from the same two parents, experiencing the same exact traumas. Okay, say they had to deal with parents that would fight all the time, right? And throw shit around the house and scream at each other and whatever, right? Between the two of them, both of them are going to have different reactions to the trauma. You might have one that decides to find better for themselves and go and heal and seek therapy, and find a good job and become very successful and set, concise boundaries because they don't want to end up like their parents. And the other one might go off and start using dope. The other one might go off and get into music and do drugs heavy. Or become a raging alcoholic. And then be angry at the whole entire world and be bitter. Okay? Might even turn to Luciferian because they're so rebellious and so angry, right? So, and the other one's Christian or whatever, okay? So, anyways, and my point to saying all that is to say that, you don't have everybody's phases that they go through aren't the same. It could be the same situation, similar circumstance, similar household, but totally different responses. Okay? So you don't have the tools that collective and myself have acquired over the years. You don't have the coping mechanisms that we've acquired over the years. You don't have the endurance, the strength, the capability, the drive, the willpower that myself and collective have. So at the end of the day, you can dress, you can walk, you can talk, you can copy mannerisms, you can, whatever the case may be, okay? Mimic everything on the outside, you can't copy what's on the inside. Because we're all wired differently. All of us. Okay? So your response to similar things that collective goes through, or myself goes through, is going to be totally different. The effect that it has on you psychologically, emotionally, is going to be totally different. You can't copy our soul. You can't copy our drive or our intellect. Because, like I said, we've molded this our own, like, what wills us to keep moving, what drives us to keep moving, to keep going. We've created our own coping mechanisms. At the end of the day, you're gonna go back inside your houses after looking like the collective, dressing, doing your hair, doing makeup like the collective, whatever the case may be. You're gonna go back into your houses, go home at night, and you may even think that you've managed to be able to copy the way collective thinks, but I guarantee you it's not. It's not. It's a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's an illusion if you think that you can think like the collective, or you have our same gifts. It's an illusion. Our same psychological, intellectual gifts. Our same soul and spirit. But your version is surface level because you don't know the depth. You don't know the depth because collective and myself, we're not going to tell you everything. We're not going to tell you everything we know. We're not going to tell you all our tools and like, we're not going to tell you all these things. So at the end of the day, it's still surface level. If you think that you can think or copy our souls or our intellectual capacity. And that doesn't mean that we're better than you now. No, we're not. Because again, we're humble. We don't need to be humbled because we're already humble. We don't think we're superior to the rest of the world. If we did, we would be narcissists. We would be sociopathic in nature. And if we were, we wouldn't really do acts of kindness. Some sociopaths do acts of kindness, but I mean, there's a deeper motivation for it. But that's not the truth with us. With us, we're genuine. We're genuinely nice, stand-up, good people. We genuinely follow the law, the rules. We genuinely believe in justice and the order of things. A lot of us might be spiritual beings, but we still genuinely good people. So, you can try to mimic our mannerisms, our copycat, our the way we talk, the way we dress, the way we do our hair, the color of our hair. All of it. You could copy all of the outside exterior stuff, but deep down inside, internally, the collective and myself will always be us. Authentically, I'm not going to say without blemish because nobody's perfect, but authentically, genuinely ourselves. And you will always be, unless you find the help and healing that you need, you will always be surface level and a copyright. You can't afford to play those kinds of games, though. Okay? I'm trying to teach you guys something here. I'm trying to show you a different perspective. You can't play those types of games. You don't have that type of time to waste. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because a lot of us, and a lot of you who try to mimic the collective, you're responsible for children. Okay? So it's important for you to be right all the way through. Okay? It's important for you to be psychologically there. It's important for you to, be a nurturer, a healer, be kind and gentle, but also have authority and structure, be just and righteous at the same time, and to teach them to be authentically themselves in a world that is always in competition. You've got common folks, you've got us viewers, the audience who looks who looks to celebrities, these stars, and not all of us are looking at them like they're competition, but we're looking at them like, wow, I wish I could be that. And then sometimes it could, if you're not careful, it could make you feel less than. Or you've got magazines flaunting women, that they're supposed to look this way and that way, and at the gym, all these women are low-key, they're competing with each other. Not all of them, but there's some that low-key, they're competing with each other. Same thing with guys, okay? They'll try to one-up each other to prove something to themselves or to the ladies around them, whatever, just to flex. Everybody's trying to flex above another. And with all of this competition that we have to deal with as it is, quote unquote, competition, you want to teach your kids that they can be authentically, that they should be authentically and genuinely themselves, because you're going to end up cheating them. You're going to end up cheating them, and you're not giving them the fighting chance that they deserve. Because they have to be able to unlock their own gifts and authenticity. The only way they can unlock and discover their own gifts, their own creativity, their own, freedom of expression is through being genuine, through being authentic, through knowing thyself. And if they're watching you, because they're like sponges, if they're watching you try to portray somebody else or try to be in competition with somebody else, what do you think they're going to grow up to do? And there's always going to be that voice in the back of their head like, oh, always looking at someone else, always looking over someone else's fence, always competing against whose grass is greener, whose lawn is more cut, whose, flowers are more blossomed, whose da-da-da-da-da, whose car's nicer. They're always going to be internally having a competition with the rest of the world. You don't want to cheat them out of finding their own internal authenticity, their own internal voice. You want to give them that voice. That is your job. Your job is to teach them that they're free to have freedom of expression, to use their voice, to discover their talents and gifts, because you never know. Your kid could be the next kid that writes a song that changes the world. Your kid could be the next scientist that discovers the cure for cancer or AIDS or whatever. Okay? Your kid could be the next Elon Musk. But you're not giving them that chance because they're too busy watching you mimic, for whatever reason, copycat someone else. You're ripping them of that chance to even discover who they are, like what they're capable of, their gifts, their talents, that could bless the entire world. You never know. So you guys want to hide behind fake accounts. You guys want to, whatever, the collective and myself, learn something. Soak this up, because this is not a game. The next generation, we're responsible for the next generation. It's our job, our due diligence. We are an example, and we are a cutoff, a piece of the Most High. of the divine. He brought us down here to be in flesh form, okay? To lead by example, because, I mean, he could just pop out from the sky, from the heavens, and do all this work himself, you know, and he's up there orchestrating with the angels and everything. But he brought us down here for many reasons. And one of that is to teach each other, to sharpen, iron sharpens iron, okay? But to also raise up the next generation so that way they will thrive. Because we're an extension. That's the word I was looking for. We are an extension of the Most High. So this is not a game. The Most High gave us our authority to be parents. He gave us our position to be parents, to be responsible for raising up this next generation. We cannot take this mission lightly. Because as I said, your child, that whether you live in Section 8 housing, whether you live in a rich neighborhood, your kid could be the next Elon Musk. Your kid could be the next president in the making. Your kid could be the one that designs something, discovers something that's going to change the entire world for the better. Heal the entire world. And that goes the same that you know, those of you who are parents who try to mimic, or not, maybe you're not parents, but you try to mimic the collective for whatever reason. You're cheating the world of your untapped talent, of your untapped gifts. Put all your energy that you have into targeting another person, the collective, okay? And trying to portray to be them for whatever reason you've got going on, insecurities or not. Target all that energy. Use that energy to really untap what could be your gifts. Because it's not too late. Whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, whether you're on hospice, okay? It is not too late. As long as you have breath in your lungs, there is a chance there's a chance. There's a fighting chance. You may be 60 years old, have untapped gifts that you have not even discovered yet, because you've wasted so much of your life and so much of your time doing other things, whether it's not just attacking the collective or it's, you know, whatever else you had going on, that could really contribute to this world. It's never too late. Just because if you don't want to go back to school at 30, 40, fine. That's okay. That would be a good thing if you do want to go back to school. But if that's not the route you want to take, that's fine. But use all that energy. Use all that inspiration, because when somebody's trying to portray someone else, trying to mimic someone else, that takes energy, that takes trying, that takes effort, right? That takes devotion to try to make someone, to try to gaslight someone, to try to cause havoc in someone's life. That takes devotion. So take that same devotion and use it wisely. Use it wisely to really heal yourself, or even just untap those gifts, the untapped gifts that are within you, that could maybe change the world. There's so many people in history that, got up there in age, and they decided to use that energy, what's left of their energy, to put it towards something productive. And it's all across history. It's never too late. You're cheating the rest of the world because you may not be, if you're trying to mimic the collective, because some of you guys do it because you're inspired by the collective, okay? But some of you are in competition. You may not have the same exact gifts that the collective has, but there's some within you. You just haven't discovered them yet. And that gift, you might be able to touch the lives of people that collective cannot touch. Maybe your field of strength lies within a different group of people. Okay? For example, me and my mother have the same gift from singing. Okay? That was a legacy that was passed down from her mother. We all have an excellent singing voice. My mother can't write songs. I can write songs in a short amount of time. Okay? However, she has done time in prison. Okay? So she knows how they operate within the jail system. So she has a gift to go and talk to those types of people. I don't. And even though my messages some could resonate with some people in the correctional facility, it won't hit them, it won't touch their soul the way that someone who comes from that type of society, who knows those backgrounds. Okay? That is why it's important for you to untap your own gifts. And we can't waste any more time. We can't waste any more time. This is important. Because there's somebody out there, while you're trying to portray collective, to be collective, just to prove that you're better than them, or you could be them better than them, or whatever. Somebody's out there that needs your gift to save their life. Somebody is out there thinking of deleting themselves. Somebody's out there struggling that only you can talk to in the right way to get them to keep on going, to keep pushing forward. Sure, the Most High can send somebody else in your place. The Bible says that. The Bible says that, I can't remember it word for word, but I do know that it says that, whoever doesn't, he gives them the call, and if they don't take the call, he will send somebody in their place to deliver the message. Now, this isn't why you want to do this. This isn't why you want to reach those people, but it does help your case towards the Most High when you go and reach those people that He's orchestrated and designed the situations for you to specifically go and talk to those people that you're meant to run into. We don't do it to get brownie points with the Most High, but it certainly does help. It certainly does help, because now you're being obedient. Now you're doing what you're told by the divine, by the Most High. And you're trusting the path. You're trusting the process. So you're trusting Him, essentially. But you're cheating these people. There's somebody out there who needs you. Especially if you don't have kids. Because it can become very stressful taking care of kids and then trying to find your purpose in life. But if you don't, and you're just wasting time trying to portray to be somebody else, Just know in the back of your mind, there's somebody out there who needs your help. Who the Most High signed for you to meet on a certain day, on a certain time, in a certain event, during a certain period of your time in life. He orchestrated it for you to meet that person right in the nick of time. And by orchestrating you to meet them during that time on a divine timing, that sends a message to that person that you were sent in divine timing, telling them that the Most High, the divine, is listening to their prayers, giving them hope, giving them faith. So this time you're wasting trying to address and mimic the collective's mannerisms, trying to make them look crazy, you are wasting time when somebody is out there who needs you to help save their lives, to give them hope. This is not a game. He brought us down here as an extension of Him. To do His work. And you're going to choose to spend that time wasting that time trying to gun for somebody that you don't even know. And if it's a family member or a friend you're doing this to, you know them, but you don't know them. You know the collective because you share a bloodline, but you don't know them. And you rather waste your life, waste the time that we have here, gunning for someone else that you don't even know in a lot of cases. When there's someone else out there who needs you to help bring hope into their life. Maybe some of you are undiscovered ministers, clergies. And you don't even know it. You don't even know that you have the gift to bring someone to the divine. What if somebody that you're divinely timed to go and meet right in the nick of time, say, because this is situations that happen, say somebody who's in the ambulance after a car accident, they've got a few minutes of their life left. You tapped into your gifts to be a minister, a clergy. And that's part of your job. You go and you run and bring them to the Most High. You bring, what if they're agnostic and it was orchestrated for you to walk in your purpose of being a minister, to go to that accident scene because say hypothetically they can't find anybody else. They can't find any more clergies. But it just so happens that you were in the area on divine timing that accident happened, and you so happen to be a clergy. And you decide, the divine tells you, hey, stop at this accident, because He knows that no one else is there to bring them to Christ on their last breath. Okay? And so you go and you pray with that person for deliverance right before they're about to pass away. And you give them that chance to enter the gates of heaven. To be in paradise and rejoicing forever. What if they were a drug addict most of their life? What if they had this oppressed, depressed spirit for most of their life, their whole life pretty much? What if they were just one of these people that fell by the wayside, got left behind? But on their last breath, and they never believed in God, on their last breath, last couple breaths, you brought them to salvation because it was divinely orchestrated. And now, after all that pain, after all that sorrow that they knew in life, on this earth, their life was so hard. All that pain, all the suffering, all the addictions, all the abuse that they endured. They get to be with the Most High in heaven, beyond those pearly gates, because you were there on divine timing, because you answered the call, you took the call. You see what I'm saying? You're cheating people in this world that you're orchestrated, divinely orchestrated to reach. And it does help. It does help if it helps your case with the Most High if you actually follow His instructions and you're there for that person. Because what does the Bible say? When we make it to heaven, they're going to ask you. They're not going to ask you how much good did you do in my name, how many demons did you cast out, how many homeless people did you feed. I mean, these are all good things, yes. But primarily what He's going to ask you is He's going to ask you how many, pretty much, again, I can't word for word, but how many did you come to know me? Did you bring to me? How many souls did you save in my name? So it certainly helps when you answer the call and you're there right in the nick of time, right when you're supposed to be there. I'm doing all I can to try to get you guys to understand. Because I'm a teacher, that's one of my gifts, is I know how to articulate words to certain people to send a message. So I can't really, although it upsets me that you guys are attacking the collective, you attack the collective through trying to mimic their mannerisms. The most important thing is not to get so rageful at you. The most important thing is to get you to understand, to see these things, to see this from a different perspective, from a higher perspective. But just like in the Bible, It's not in the Bible. It's a joke that Christians used to tell around me all the time. It was, so a man was lost at sea, right? He was stuck in the middle of the ocean. And he prayed out. He said, God, send me some help. Send somebody to help me, to get him from being stranded in the middle of the ocean. God sends a raft. No, he sends I think it goes in this order. He sends like a ship or something. Anyways, he sends a ship. The captain asked him, "Sir, do you need help?" And he goes, no, God will provide, or something, right? No, God's going to provide. I've been asking him to send help. And the captain said, Are you sure? You can get on aboard our ship, And he said, no, God will come through. So the ship takes off. And then he sends, I forgot what the other one was. But he sends all these people that are just so happen to be sailing in the middle of the ocean, okay? Finally, he gets to a raft. He sends somebody in a raft, right? And the guy still rejects the guy in a raft. I said, no, God will provide. It's okay. I've been praying, right? Well, the guy finally passes away. The guy in the raft goes away, and the guy in the ocean finally passes away, and he makes it to heaven. And he said, Lord, why did you let me die? Why'd you let me die, Lord? I kept praying and asking you to send help. I kept praying and asking you to send somebody to save me, How did I die, And the Lord says to him, you goof. I sent you a ship, I sent you this, I sent you that, and I sent you a raft. You didn't accept it. You didn't take it. I'm telling you this story to tell you the significance of that story. My interpretation of it is God's going to keep sending you people like the collective. People like me, who are teachers, who are going to try to get you to see things from a higher perspective, who are going to try to get you to understand things from a different light, see things in a different light, to help to save you from yourself, to help to save you from this path that you're on. Whether it's coming against us or not, whether you're specifically targeting us or not, our job at the end of the day is to teach you, to keep sending, to be present, to be the raft, to be the ship, to try to rescue you, save you from this path you're going down. But there's only so much we can do if you don't want to listen to our words. You don't want to listen to what we have to say. What if you may not like me? You may think, that you may be jealous because of the way I look. You may be, and I'm not being cocky, this is real problems that happen, okay? You might be envious because you feel like I'm a better parent than you. I don't know. You might have your own securities against me which cause you to not like me specifically, and then the same thing goes for the collective. Whatever reason you do not like the collective is in your own insecurities. Okay? It doesn't matter. What's important is that we are the ships. We're the rafts. That's our job. We were told to do this. So we have to, and collective, I know you're listening to me, collective. It's difficult and you want to get angry and rageful at these people that are coming for you. Okay? But our jobs as teachers, as extensions of the Most High, of the Divine, we're supposed to be those rafts in those ships. But there's going to come a time where we just got to stop. We got to stop talking to them. We got to stop engaging and trying to send a message. At that point, it is up to them to decide to get on that ship, to get on that raft. But if they reject it, if they keep rejecting it because I don't want to listen to Collective, because their own insecurities, some people might be insecure and be like, Collective's more handsome than me, Collective's more prettier than me, so that insecurity, that jealousy will actually overlap them listening to your words. But there is someone, Collective, know that there's someone who's going to decide to accept that raft. There's someone who's going to decide, there may be even some people who decide to get on the ship, to heed the first warning, to listen to you at first. Okay? It's our job to try to even save the people who come for us. But to a certain extent. So, those of you coming for the Collective, mimicking their mannerisms, trying to make them look crazy, doing all the stuff that you're doing, you're cheating the rest of the world. And you're gonna miss the raft. You're gonna miss that rescuing from yourself on the ship. I know my words they're gonna reach somebody. In my particular situation, my words might reach somebody. Somebody's gonna pick up what I'm putting down. Somebody's gonna understand what I'm saying. Now, this is kind of a long video, but now, for those of you who are coming for the Collective and trying to make them look crazy, okay? Collective, and I know I'm not crazy, all right? I know this. Because I know my truth. But if we're teachers and if we're here to heal, if we're here to do good, say you successfully convinced the entire world that Collective was crazy. And you get them locked away somewhere, even though they don't deserve it. You're cheating the outside world that they were ordained, in a sense, I guess, ordained to reach. Because you convince those people that Collective's crazy. Or they're nowhere to be found in divine timing. Now, say you convince the whole outside world that Collective's crazy, right? Everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Say you successfully get them locked up in a loony bin or something, right? The divine will equip the Collective to reach those people in the circumstance. Because no matter what, we have to complete our mission. No matter what, we have to send messages. We have to teach. So no matter where you try to put us, and I'm not saying this arrogantly, okay? I'm trying to teach you guys something. I'm trying to get you to see it from a higher perspective. No matter how you try to put us away and hide us away from the world, lock us up, whatever the case may be, we have to continue to teach. We don't have a choice. So, even though we didn't get to reach the outside world, hypothetically, the outside world, because this is happening collectively. Collectively, people are trying to lock the collective away, gifted people away, to cage them from the rest of the world, as if we're monsters. Even though we won't be able to reach the people on the outside world, the divine's going to orchestrate it so we reach the people on the inside. Some way, somehow, our messages will get out. Because we're not doing this for us. Fellow content creators or collective, if you're thinking about being a content creator, it is very therapeutic to get out everything, get off your chest everything that you feel you need to say. It also encourages you to use your voice and to speak your truth and to vibrate in authenticity, okay? But through it all, we're not doing this for ourselves. And me personally, I'm not just doing it because that's what I was told to do. I'm listening. That I'm a teacher, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing, part of what I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm doing it because there's someone else out there that needs you guys. Their life depends on it. Or their life in the afterlife depends on it. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm setting aside the rage, the personal feeling like I'm being personally attacked. I'm setting that aside. I will get upset. I can't promise you I'm not going to get upset on some days because I don't feel it's just. I don't feel it's right. What collective and myself have to go through. However, I'm supposed to be a ship, a raft, for those of you who are attacking the collective. Whether I'm the raft and this is your last stop before there's no hope left, it's too late, or I'm the ship and this is this is the first time you're listening really to what I have to say. The point is, I have to set aside my own differences with you and egotistical emotions because the goal, the point, is not my own feelings towards the situation. I'm not even looking to save you guys, that come for the collective. I'm not looking to bring you to Christ or anything like that. If it comes with the territory, great. That's your own path you're gonna have with the divine. I'm thinking about that person in the accident in the ambulance that you were signed to. I don't think it's fair to that person. Or whatever situation that was supposed to be orchestrated that you were supposed to be present at. Because of discovering your untapped gifts and talents and capabilities. Finding your soul purpose. You guys and us, the collective, we can have our differences. You can think whatever you want to think about the collective. You can think, and they can think whatever they want to think about you. It's not really about us anymore. As I said, it's about that person in the ambulance, and it's about us raising up the next generation. The next Elon Musk, the next scientist who's going to cure cancer. You know? You get the idea, you know, you get the gist of it. Or you might, you know, they might be the next best surgeon, you know, and like brain surgeon, you know, and have gifted hands, the healing hands to fix someone's brain, to fix their, you know, like, to really help people. That could be your kid. Whether you live in, like I said, whether you live in Section 8 housing, subsidized housing, whether you live in a shelter, or whether you live in Beverly Hills, your kid could be the next undiscovered famous neurosurgeon that's going to heal and reconstruct people's lives, okay, in a good way. That's why it's so important for us to raise up the next generation the right way. You got to see you have to see it from a higher perspective. You have to see it, you know, the end goal, the long-term goal, and how today affects those long-term goals. We all have undiscovered gifts. They don't have to be psychic gifts we all have intuition. But we all have gifts and talents. A lot undiscovered. Because we've suppressed those gifts. Because if you come from a traumatic background, you know, you were probably told that those gifts don't exist, it's not real, you know, you shouldn't be operating in those gifts, or you're never going to make it, you know. So there's untapped gifts and talents in everyone. And we're all gorgeous, beautiful, handsome in our own way. Some people might say, you know, that person's more beautiful on the inside than the out. Well, then that person that's beautiful on the outside is not so pretty on the inside. You know, we are all beautiful and handsome, unique in our own way. We don't have to walk around being jealous of another person because you think they're prettier than you, or you think that they're more handsome than you. You don't have to think like that. You have a choice. You could stand in the mirror, which is a part of shadow work. You can stand in the mirror and you can find things about yourself that you love. Or if you feel that you aren't so pretty on the outside, but you know that you have a gift to cook, right? Or to paint, or to draw, or to whatever the case may be, you can choose to operate more and target your energy more into that gift. That's part of you being unique. You can use that to lift your spirits, to lift your confidence. And then when you start doing that from the inside, you'll start feeling better about your outside. It's like a flower plant. Let's just say it's like a flower plant, okay? The seed is your gift. Whether you look pretty or handsome or not, It's your internal gift that you have, your untapped gift, or even a gift you know that you have. Say cooking. That seed is your cooking ability. To design and create recipes and make it look restaurant good, you know? That's the seed. Well, you're gonna plant that seed by starting to cook more, okay? And you're gonna come up with new recipes, new designs, use your creative juices to design exquisite recipes, okay? And that's you watering that flower, right? We'll just say a rose. It's going to turn out to be a rose, okay? You're watering it through operating in that gift, right? And mastering that gift. You're watering it every single day, taking care of that rose, okay? And you're also is building confidence within you because you're talking yourself up, okay? When you're talking yourself up, that's the rose growing, okay? You're talking yourself up, saying, because you're operating in your gift, right? You're coming up with all these great recipes, so you're like saying, man, I'm such a good cook. Man, I'm really good at this. Like, I'm actually making great meals. I'm awesome, you know? Like, this is a really good dish, you know? And you start to really cater to yourself and boost your confidence, boost your, you know, because you're finding that you're actually great at this gift. Okay? Because you've been nurturing it, you've been watering it. Okay? And it grows and grows and grows with all those good nurturing words that you're saying to yourself and building your confidence. And before you know it, that rose is gonna open up and blossom. Okay? That rose, when it's inside you, remember, okay, and it's growing, and that the head of the rose, let's just say that's your outward appearance. Okay? So where it was you didn't feel so good about your outside, right? You watered a gift of yours, that rose, and it sprouted out, and now you're looking at yourself like you are beautiful. Now you're starting to see features of yourself that are handsome or pretty, you know. You're starting to see that there's special things about you, about your features, about the way you look. And then on top of that, you have confidence that you can cook. And during that whole time you've been watering and nurturing that gift, you've mastered cooking and all these exquisite recipes. That's why it's important for us to trying to get through to somebody. That's why it's important for us to water and nurture our gifts, our untapped gifts, because this goes a lot farther than you even know. This and people who have self-confidence, who feel good about themselves, who feel beautiful, who feel strong, who feel like they've got gifts and talents. You love yourself so you can love the rest of the world. And you know, you mastered all them recipes, so now you can start giving those recipes, making those foods for the rest of the world. And if you know anything about, like, even soul food, right? Some people could agree with soul food. They call it soul food for a reason, because you eat it and it, you know, you have a bad day, you eat some good soul food, and you feel good, man. You feel great. Imagine your dish doing that for someone else. They're having a bad day. They go to your restaurant, or they go to your house and have dinner or something, or you even extend your gift to shelters, homeless shelters, and you are in their kitchen cooking and designing and coming up with all these recipes you've acquired. Now, those homeless people feel like they're not less than. They feel like they matter because they're not only eating food from a homeless shelter, they're eating exquisite dishes from a homeless shelter. So they, in their minds, they know that somebody went the extra mile. They took the initiative to make them a good meal instead of just slapping some, like prison, slapping some baked beans and mashed potatoes from a can, Someone actually took the time to design a delicious meal for them. You know what they'll start doing if that happened? They'll start giving thanks to God. A lot of them are already thankful for the little things. Just imagine if you came along being a chef and cooked in a homeless shelter and made them feel like royalty. Because chances are living in those types of circumstances could make you feel like less than, could make you feel like you're trash, like you're nothing. And for somebody to come along with your cooking skills and make them a fancy dish, you're going to boost their confidence. And you know what? They're not only going to thank God, they're going to also acquire hope. And it's going to boost their confidence a little bit because they're going to feel like they matter, especially to the Most High. And they're going to think to themselves, man, the divine loves me this much. He loves us this much that he sent this person to make us an exquisite meal after we've been eating this, It's going to break their heart in a good way. Bringing them closer to the divine, to the Most High. And that might just be enough to get them off the streets. That's why it's so important for us to operate in our gifts, in our untapped talents and gifts. That's why we don't want to waste any time. All because of egotism, all because of jealousy, insecurities, that we can heal, that we have the tools, the capability to do so. I know this is going to reach one person in my particular situation that's being a part of doing all of this mess. Anyways, here's the raft. Are you going to take it?